What's up, Michelle? Good morning. Wait, Michelle, did you come on because it said for men only? Is that why you came on today? My beautiful wife, what's happening? Good morning. What's up, everybody? I thought I would do a quick video. What's up, Anthony, Dan? What's up, everybody? You're gonna see my finger moving on here. Ernie, what's going on? Herman, Mr. Cantoni, what's up? Dustin, what's happening? We'll let a few more people come in here. I'm wondering where my shoes are. I think they're downstairs. So let me give you a little sidebar talk before we get started in this subject that I was going to chat about, and then I gotta go find my shoes somewhere. But I was thinking about a big mistake that I almost made a long time ago. And what's up, Brian, Landon? And it got me thinking today, this morning when I woke up and I was laying in bed, it got me thinking. But first off, it was interesting because we had our house feng shui. Do you guys know what feng shui is? And so, let me move my stuff around here. We had our house feng shui, our shore house, and we got this badass blanket, right? See this badass blanket here? And so when the woman was doing the feng shui thing, do you guys know what that is? It's like really aligning the house with like the universe and stuff. So when we did it, and I had the blanket on here, the feng shui woman, she was like, "Oh, that's not for, you can't have business on the bed." And I was like, "Oh," and I didn't get into it there, but I was like, "That's not business. That's not business. That's life. That's how I live my life, right? That's what I do. That's what I say. That's how I think. So it's not business at all. It's just like, this is who I've been for, majority of my life since starting martial arts at 14 years old. I've been a warrior. I mean, I fought the wars of myself. I fought the wars of life. I fought the wars of business. I fought the wars of my mind. And I'm like, no, that's not business at all. That's me. So that's a little side note. And then I was like, you cruise on Facebook in the morning. You ever do that? You're just laying in bed and you start cruising on Facebook and you see all this stuff. And it's such a mirage. It's such an illusion, a lot of this stuff. Like, I'm sitting here looking in the room, which is really dialed in. It's super, tidy and everything. And everybody on social media is showing you their super clean, super tight, it's like their perfect world. I mean, not like everything's not perfect. Like, everybody has a laundry basket, right? Like, I'm looking here. I'm like, yeah, we have a laundry basket. You know what I mean? It's like, but this world is trying to show you, like, you don't have a laundry basket. Like, no one has laundry. And over there on the floor is my dirty clothes bag that's going to go home. And it's like everybody's trying to show you this illusion out there today, like they don't have a laundry basket. Because if they have a laundry basket, then you'll think that maybe they are something, that they don't meet your standards. But really, it's about your standards. Those towels, I know they're clean. Feel free to fold them. No, I'm not going to fold them, because then I wouldn't be able to tell my story about the laundry the laundry basket. But I'm going to tell you more. I'm going to tell you really what I wanted to talk about, which was this men's only concept that I was thinking about. And when I started CEO Warrior, when it was called a completely different name, I was going to do men only, because I was like, yeah, this is the right thing to do. Like, I'm a man, I can relate to men, and yeah, I'll just do men only. It'll be really, really simple. And then I had 2 team members at the time that were women, and also my wife. And I said, yeah, I'm going to do just, I'm trying to find something to put my phone on here. I'm going to do something. It's just going to be men only. And like all of them at like one time, and this is going back in my memory, so this is like 5 years ago, they were like, what? Why would you do men only? Like, everybody needs the information. So this was a really good, I guess, awakening or enlightenment for me about this men only thing, because I was thinking, well, yeah, that's easy. That's easy to just do men. It's comfortable. It's simple. I can relate to them. But the majority of complications or communication things all happens with men and women. It happens with men and women. Like, it just happens, there's a universal thing. What's up, Mike Disney? That is, men and women have to interact together. So I'm so glad that I didn't do just men, because it would have been super simplistic, easy for everybody, and we would have went there. And this couch looks really weird for some reason here. We would have done men things and chanted like men only, and then you got to hope that then you're brave enough. I would have had to hope you're brave enough when you go back to then communicate, if you're with a woman, with the woman. And if you see the complication here, this is a real complication today, as far as I see it, because the fact is, the only reason you want to be around men only is because you haven't learned how to communicate with the women of some kind. You haven't learned how to communicate with your wife. You haven't learned how to communicate through a situation. And in the end, you go there and you think you got it all dialed in, and then you come back and you didn't solve the number one thing, which was, well, if you can't communicate good and you're worried about judgments and you're not willing to be yourself, this is ridiculous. This doesn't make sense. Now, is there a time for just men to get together and maybe discuss a certain thing? I guess so. Is there a time for women to get together and discuss a certain thing? I guess so. But I think in today's day and age, I keep trying to wrestle, like, when is that time? Like, okay, so if there's men and women in a room and men want to talk about sex or something, but they don't do it because there's women in the room, like, what the fuck? Like, people have sex, everybody. It's a normal conversation. It's like people don't want to have a conversation about crap or shit. It's like, okay, but your body shits every day, most of you. So it's like we avoid these conversations because we're worried, based on your little 5-year-old self, you're programmed what to say, what to think, how I think you feel about me. You know, what are you judging me? So I take it as this reflection of, I guess I have to be concerned about you. And so you go out there and you buy a boat and a car and something, and you brag about it because you think that everybody will love you now. That is what success is based on. It's so funny. Steve Addario, who's been a warrior for a long time, and Jen, I don't even know if you heard this. He said, yeah, my wife still thinks this is a staging house for you, that you have a big mansion somewhere else. And I'm thinking, okay, so affording a mansion is not an impressive thing. Affording a Lamborghini is not an impressive thing. If any of you watching this are impressed by someone's Lamborghini or big house or big boat. It's a payment, everybody. It's a payment. You know what I mean? It's a payment. And the thing about that is it really making you happy, or is what making you happy someone saying, oh my goodness, you got that boat, I'm so happy for you. You got that car, I'm so happy for you. Like, you're so impressive now, I'm so impressed. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, is it really impressive? Is the guy really happy? Because I learned what happens behind closed doors is normally so different than what happens in the real world. I mean, I think that's for all of us. I mean, I do my very best to be extremely transparent with everybody so that they can get the message and understand. Here's a great story. So I'm on with somebody yesterday and I'm talking to them. And as I'm talking to them, they say, well, yeah, I'm going to go do this thing. I'm going to go do this event. And I said, okay, that's awesome. Why? And then there's pause. Because I talk to a lot of people. And normally what I say when I talk to them, they're like, yeah, I'm going to go do this event. I'm like, oh, did Grant Cardone talk to you on the phone? And they're like, no. I was like, oh, did Anthony Robbins get and talk to you on the phone? They're like, no. I'm like, oh, but I'm talking to you on the phone. Oh, that's interesting. I mean, I built and sold a $32 million business, but I'm on the phone with you. I'm talking real with you. I'm having a conversation with you. And then the person says, well, I'm going to go there because I want to learn what to do when I wake up in the morning. I'm like, okay. So what do you think you should do when you wake up in the morning? Like, you probably should shower. Should you brush your teeth? I mean, should you comb your hair? Should you maybe move your body a little bit? Do you think there's a perfect routine? Like, you know how many people were telling me through my life and the 4-hour work week and this program and this other shiny object, like, oh, you got to start your day working out. I'm like, no, that doesn't work for me. No, I don't start my day working out. That's not what I do. I work out at nighttime. Oh, but you should do it in the morning. Why? I'm functioning as a superhuman right now. I work out at night. You know, if you keep looking for the next, like, oh, I need to go to this program. Like, if you're coming to Service Business Edge and you think like you're coming because you need to get your morning routine, it's the wrong thing to go to. There's a ton of events you could go spend money, spend time, go alone by yourself, you know, avoid your wife going with you, and you could learn the perfect morning routine. This is interesting. There's no perfect morning routine. There's your routine. And if you guys could just say to yourself, get better every day. Get better every day. Just try something new. You got to be a test subject of something. Like, just try doing something new and see how it works. You don't need someone to tell you this stuff to do this. Now, is there skill sets you got to learn that you don't have? Yeah. And is it generic for everybody? No. I mean, I want to know from you guys. I mean, I know there's so many events out there, including mine, that you could go and attend. But like, how many of you attended and came back and say, that's what I did in that moment and it equated to this? I bet very few of you could say that. I bet very few of you could say, I heard that strategy, I implement that. Now, I'm going to take myself out of that hat a minute because I don't give you something I made up. Like, we did 200 million in 10 years. Like, I don't give you something that I'm like, oh, you should test this. It works great. And I never used it. It's like, and it doesn't, the same thing doesn't work in all places and all times. It just doesn't. Like, there's certain marketing pieces that have to be adapted, modified, because this is so ridiculous that people would, and you have to be taught how to think this way. You're not born thinking this way. You're not born thinking this way. Like, to take a postcard or a strategy or an internet. I got all these, there's all these gurus out there trying to teach these internet strategies, info marketing strategies to apply to service businesses. And the majority doesn't work. What's my, I follow my vibe. If I followed yours, I'd be out of my mind. Yeah, oh, okay, well, yeah, That's right. Because everybody's an individual. Everybody's different. So like there's these info marketers online trying to teach it like, oh, you got to do this info marketing stuff in your service business. I'm like, yeah, okay. That just won't work. Funny, listening to this made me think how much this is like parenting. It is like parenting. It is. Like, I mean, is there a perfect book for the perfect child? I mean, please send it to me because I could use it some days myself. You know, is there the perfect book to be? Now, there's concepts, there's ideas, and I'm not saying you shouldn't get that stuff. I'm just saying you really got to ask yourself, like, what is the finish line? Is the finish line where you're getting to, like, is that the car? Is it the house? Is it the boat? What is it? You know, and really, what does freedom feel like? And is freedom a book that I give you, and this book has the ultimate freedom? No, I mean, look, I believe if you're going to do something, you do it because it has a blueprint, you run through it, and you have the concept, the mindset to be able to evaluate that and execute on it. If it was that damn easy, to take any book, any program, and apply it, well, everybody's life would be amazing. It's not that easy. It's not. You have to be taught how to think different, and you have to be taught how do I apply that to me? And you got to be able to ask questions about it. You got to be able to say, like, I'm not connecting the dots. You know, I think that's what we do really well. And I'm not here to pitch you us because, like, if there's a million shiny objects you could go for. You know, I work really hard not to be a shiny object. That's so easy to do. We could all try to be shiny objects. I work really hard to connect a dot in your mind that's never been connected before. You need to head to the beach this morning. That's my routine. I haven't been to the beach yet since I was on the bay fishing last night. We caught a couple crabs and something bit my bait. And my son had something. And he was whining and he pulled it off and that thing was gone. And it was big. And yeah, Aaron, hey, no, he has a meeting with me. Yes, I have to get on a call. Aaron, type in what time it is. I have to get on with you in a minute. But you know, I was inspired. And when I'm inspired, I want to deliver the message. But we're going to get on the call in a couple minutes. I'm going to go because I just want you to get the message of a couple things. One, if you want to learn something and you want to do it yourself, you got to start having open and honest communication with your significant other, with your children. You got to be transparent on how you feel. And it's uncomfortable to do that, but it's only uncomfortable because you're making it uncomfortable. It's like the conversation, like so many people, they avoid these conversations of things. So, you know, if all of you think that what it is one more event that's going to change your life, one more book, one more podcast, I'm going to tell you it's deeper than that. That's not going to do it. It's not going to get it done for you. If you think hanging around a peer group of people is going to get it done, that alone, it's not going to get it done. It doesn't. If it was that easy, then everybody would hang around. Well, let me get back to the original message that I'm really glad that my wife and Lindsay and Karen at the time told me, which was don't just do, and they weren't telling me to do that. It's not like they forced me, but they gave me something that rationally when I thought about it, and they said, you can't just train men. How are you going to just give this? We're women. And this information can be used by us. And now that I go back in hindsight, I say to myself, why was I trying to build an event, a program for men only? And I was like, well, it's super comfortable. And I was like, shit, it's that super comfortableness is not what you need. You need the uncomfortableness. And you need that interaction and feedback. That's why I love, like we just did war planning. If that was just men in that room, yeah, we would have got a job done. We would not have been balanced out at all. We would have been all yin with no yang, or all yang with no yin. I mean, the whole thing about that on there, the yin yang is this sense of balance. You know what I mean? And if you're out of balance, then life feels like hell. And, that brings such a balance, because I know when we have women warriors and men warriors in their same room, it doesn't matter if they're couples, married, or individuals, I know they're giving the opposite feedback. They're saying, well, I don't know if this is how your wife feels, but this is how I just felt. And the guy says, well, I don't know how you feel, but this is how I feel. This is how I feel now. This is what I want to say and I'm not saying. This is what I'm afraid to say because I'm worried about being judged. And when it comes back to these things, I believe it's a really good decision. And then I say to myself, well, maybe it comes back to this judgment thing. Well, maybe only men should get together and go hunting. Well, why do you do that? So you can act a way that you're worried about being judged by women? Well, what about you just act the way you want, be really, really brave, and just tell people, like, this is who I am. And if you like this is cool. And if you don't like this, then I'm still going to be who I am, because I believe that between the magazines and the TV and the radio and the internet and the Netflix, like, we've created a world of fakeness where people just don't want to be the real them. They want to model and mirror something, not that they want, something they think you want. And in the end, when they're alone and they're in their bed and they're looking in the mirror, they're disappointed, they're upset, they're frustrated, they're let down. And it's all because they didn't want to be themselves. It's so funny. I was on a call with someone who's coming to Service Business Edge. What's up, Cindy? What's up, Mike Gator? Someone who's coming to Service Business Edge. Two really, really powerful brothers are coming in October. And the one brother is just full of energy and power and strength, and the other one's a little powerful and strong but zen. And the one brother's all like getting all like real anxious, and the other brother's like, whoa, just kind of calm down. And I'm like, hold on a second here. Hold on. Like, first off, don't tell the Hulk to go back to human. I'm good with the Hulk. I love aggressive energy. I love calm energy. I love any energy that's true. Don't push down on a flame, okay? You push down on a flame long enough and hard enough, the shit goes out. It don't grow. So I'm like, don't do that. And I think that's what's happened a lot, is a lot of you don't want to be free. You don't want to be free, so you live this life of illusion and fakeness, and just consider being brave for a little bit. Consider stepping up and saying to yourself, like, I'm just going to be me. I'm going to be me and the very best you that you want to be. And they say, like, stop living the lie, right? And before you go and say to yourself, and you guys know I rant about this before with people that go away to, trade events and this, like, yeah, you're just escaping something anyway. I mean, are you really going for the knowledge? I mean, very few people really go for the knowledge. I believe if you're going to go somewhere and experience something, make sure you're real clear what you're going for and what you need to get out of it, what you need to come back with. And if you come back and you didn't get that, well, then there's a damn problem there. And you should find a way to get that thing. I deal with this all the time with people. I'm like, if you just focus, and this is the last thing I got to leave you with, because Aaron's waiting for me, and we were on the phone at, 9:30 last night working, and we got more work to do. But if you could just think of this one thing. If you have a problem, and that problem's causing pain and suffering and this and that, you should focus and solve that one problem. Like, you should do everything in your power to solve that problem. Like, very few, and maybe it's good or maybe it's bad for you, but it's me. Like, you won't get much sympathy from me of your problem, like lack of leads or lack of money or lack of, I'm like, nah, you're not going to get that from me. I'm not going to hug you with that. Like, I'm going to give you a strategy to step up and be your very best self to accomplish the task. And if you work really hard and do what others won't do, you'll accomplish the task. It's making money is really, really easy to do. Learning how to be free and happy, that's where the difficulty comes in. But making money,
It's pretty damn easy. There's a simple sequence to it. Have something that somebody wants, find a bunch of those somebody people, and make it make sense for them to buy the value. Then make more money than you spend. It's not a complication here, everybody. Everybody wants to try to give you their 42-page blueprint on how complicated it is with all these fancy terms. Go make more money, get paid, spend less than you make. Like, it's not craziness. But the complication is really like, what does it take to get back to happiness? And if you can't solve problems, you can't get the shit done, you can't do the work, you can't move the needle, then yeah, I get it. You're always going to be unhappy trying to live this illusion, well, I want to live like Kevin O'Leary or Mark Cuban, like I want a boat and a plane and a jet. Yeah. Well, then you got to do what these guys do. Most of you don't want to do nearly what these guys do. Not even partially what these people do. So tell me what you're taking away from this. I had a lot of things on my mind when I woke up this morning, and I was cruising through the internet, and I was saying, there's so many things that are so self-serving to themselves, and they're masking it as it's serving for everybody, but it's really, a lot of it is self-serving for themselves, which is okay. Everybody has a right to make money and right to make a business, but just be clear on what you're doing and why you're doing. It seems easier to default to someone else's expectations, but a lifetime of that is actually more costly. Yeah, I agree with you, Aaron. I agree with you. And I would tell you, if you guys need, and this is a joke right now, so if you need, I have a 32-page book program. You could show up and I will show you how to wake up and have the perfect morning, and what you should do at 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 5 o'clock, what you should eat for dinner, when you should meditate during the day, when you should exercise, when you should kiss your wife, when you should wipe your ass, what you should do the minute before you go to sleep, and the 75 different apps you need to use to manage your life. If you would like that, I have that for you. No, that's bullshit. I don't have that for you. And if you're looking for that, then you're overcomplicating a lot of stuff. Find someone who you know has information you need. And if you need, I told someone the other day, I said, if you need a punch in the face, like I could just find someone in your area, and when you walk out your door, punch in your face, and I just saved you a whole lot of time. And then you could go to MetaMerge, get healed, and get started. Is that what you need? Because if you're going to something to get punched in the face, that's ridiculous. Yep, my illusion was that I had a $7 million company. Yeah. Most people don't even have a company. They have a job, Matt. They don't even have a company. They have a job that they call a company and a business. You know, that's what they have. Because it's the conflict between work and life. And people hate what they do, so they try to figure it out so they have life. And the connectedness piece is, love what you do, everything, until it's gone, or you change things. And that alone changes the game. Because if your employees don't see you love it, and all they hear is complaints and fights and arguments, and we're not winning, then who the fuck wants to stay on, who wants to stay on that team, right? Nobody wants to stay on that team. Hey, here's one more quick thing. And Aaron, thank you for being patient. I'm just going to need a drink of water in my computer, and we'll get hooked up. So the last thing that I find is really, really interesting is that I talk to so many different people, not because I have to, because I want to. And I'm talking to somebody, and they say to me, thanks, Virginia. They say to me, there's not a lot of people. It's hard to hire. There's not a lot of help. And I say, okay, well, what are you doing to recruit? Oh, no, we don't do anything for recruiting. I'm like, how are you going to get people if you don't do anything for recruiting? Like, that seems pretty hard. Like, how are you going to do that? Like, if you don't recruit, yeah, I get it. That's your reality. You know, your reality is your focus between fear, limiting beliefs, and true strategies. And you got to be taught true strategies. I mean, this is the thing. I don't know about you guys, but everybody has their own level, right? And it's kind of like the water seeps its own level, or you know what I mean, seeks its level. So you have water, and that water is your capacity and capability right now. And the goal is I can give you as much high level strategies in that water as possible. But the fact is, if it doesn't make sense to you, if you haven't executed on it and tried it, then that level will not pull up. It will not, that level will not rise. You must rise the thinking of concepts, and you must see the piece connected easily, and then you must be able to go grab it and put it in place fast. Because if you have a strategy, and this happened to me all the time, because look, everybody, I spent over 1.4 million on my own training. I don't say it to brag. I say it because it's actually I'm embarrassed a little bit, not in myself. I'm embarrassed by the world. I'm embarrassed that I had to spend that much money to connect all these dots when there should have been people that could have connected this dot for me. But I kept spending all this money trying to connect another dot, because it's like, well, how do I connect the spiritual dot to the life dot? And now how do I connect the life dot to the marketing dot? And how do I connect the marketing dot to the systems dot? And then a lot of people I was training with in organization stuff, they gave me business stuff, but they never showed me how to connect the dot with my relationship. So now I'm growing a business, but I'm growing closer to my business and further from my wife. And like, they didn't connect that dot for me. And then I had to learn all these things about NLP and firewalking and all this stuff, because how do I now break through and help other people connect the dot? Because if I'm fixed and I'm improved, well, but everyone else, I don't know how to do it. Well, how the hell do I do that? And then I didn't know how to connect the culture dot. And I could tell you every money spent. Culture dot, trained at Disney Institute. Culture dot, trained at Zappos. Recruiting, culture, business scalability, trained with Cameron Harold. Marketing concepts of putting together and be able to do high-level marketing and videos and funnels, trained with Frank Kern. Understanding before, during, and after, trained with Dean Jackson. Understanding why, understanding how to change, understanding empowerment. Anthony Robbins, Master University Series, and Business Mastery. Okay, wanted to learn direct mail. Dan Kennedy. Now, I've spent money to be in front of these people. Wanted to understand scalability of companies and how do you own multiple companies and scale them. Kevin O'Leary I trained with. Do you want me to keep going? I could keep going and going and going and going. I am not bragging about that. I am fucking embarrassed over that. I worked hard. I just wanted to connect the dots. And this is the problem today, is people are connecting a half a dot. So you either got to keep coming back or they don't keep connecting the dots because the dots change. It's like I grow, my relationships are good, connect the dot to the health. I didn't know the consequence of not paying attention to that. So it's a game of connecting the dots. And I would tell you, if you're going to do anything, make sure you know the dot that needs to be connected. All right? That's what you need to figure out. All right, I got to go now. Aaron's waiting patiently for me to get off of this, and we have a lot of work to do. And I'm trying to figure out this. Yeah, of course. I adjust the couch, and let me show you something. Hang on a minute. I got to lean over the couch. I don't even know if I could. Hold on. I got to use the thing to do it. Okay, let me show you guys something. This is real world stuff, everybody. Vinny, this is behind my couch. This is my son's snack. Whatever he was eating is behind the fucking couch. Okay, that's it. Now, I didn't have to show you that. I could have just been like, look at this. Everything is perfect in my world. Everything is a perfect world. You should come and train with me because I'm perfect. No. You know what? If you're going to consider me, do it because you want to connect the dots and you think that I could help you get there. And if I can't, I'm cool with that. And if you think I can, well, yeah, hit me up and maybe consider Service Business Edge. But if you need to go to a place where you're just going to hang around,
with only men, hoping that your wife doesn't hear what you guys talk about, well, I think that's probably probably a little ridiculous and not going to get you to the finish line, because what are you going to learn? How to have a conversation with someone who's not there? I don't know. It's probably not going to work out real well. Boom. Have a great day.